trying to get started in the kitchen this morning. I've got several things I want to cook today. Already made my shake that I've been drinking. Since I last mentioned that in a video, a friend sent me some protein powder, and it's the best that I have ever tried. It's very expensive though, so forewarned about that. Of course, it was a gift to me, so it's easy for me to say that it's delicious, but it is. A lot of the protein powders I've used in the past, no matter the brand or what reviews come on them, they all kind of seem to have an aftertaste that don't taste exactly right to me. Maybe that's just me. This one does not. But again, it is pricey. It's Flav City, and it comes in lots of different flavors. This is vanilla cream. It tastes like drinking a milkshake, just about. But it's one of those that if you read on, you can read the ingredients. They're all good source. They're all good for you, all that kind of stuff. So it is a high quality one. And when you think about the price, now you can find it on sale sometimes, I've heard, on Amazon, like when they have their Prime days. But if you space it out, which I don't, because my cup right now is about that full, so I'm not using a whole scoop every time. So it's one way of looking at it. Maybe it would last longer. Of course, if the quality ingredients and the good things that are in it's really important to you, that might offset the price too. Or you might ask for it for Christmas or for your birthday or something like that. But Flav City. The ones that I've tried is just the vanilla cream though, so you'd have to find out if you like those others. I just went and looked up and seen that they have pumpkin spice, a brownie one, maybe 2 or 3 chocolate ones. There's a berry one. There's lots of different ones, but the vanilla cream is really good. Anyway, so why am I going to be cooking in the kitchen today? Tomorrow is our Pastor Appreciation Day at church, and we're going to have a meal afterwards. We're going to have dinner on the grounds, as they would say, but we're actually going to have dinner in the fellowship hall, so it won't be outside. But I'm going to go ahead and cook today because in the morning, getting ready for church and all that, of course I could get up really early and do stuff, but I'm better at doing it ahead of time, so I try to think of things I could do ahead of time. So I think what I'm going to make, or I know at this point what I'm going to make, I've already got my oatmeal over there cooking. I'm going to make a run of my oatmeal rolls. This is strange to make them this early. Usually I start making them when, get closer to Thanksgiving. Of course it'll be here before we know it, won't it? So I've got the oatmeal over there cooling down now, and I'll get ready to make my dough for those. And then I've got some water heating up. I'm going to make deviled eggs. That's always easy and seems like it goes good at potlucks or anything like that, because everyone likes them, but especially kids. And we're very blessed at our church. We've got lots of kids, so the kids can come by and get them till they're gone. And I'm sure there'll be somebody else brings deviled eggs too. So I'm going to do deviled eggs, and I'm going to do the rolls. I'm going to do, just thinking of a meal, I like to take something, if I can, thinking of a whole meal, like from every course. I couldn't think of the word, course. So I think I'm going to do a roast. I got a roast yesterday at the grocery store, so I'm going to do a roast and put the potatoes and the carrots and everything in there, so it'll kind of be one meal. And I'll probably do it in the crock pot. I haven't decided. I could put it on right now, let it cook all day, and it'd be done, and then kind of put it in the refrigerator and then warm it back up in the morning. I might do that, or I could put it on tonight before I go to bed, and then it would be ready in the morning. I have to decide about that. And then I want to thinking about all those courses, I want to make a dessert. So I have found a video or a channel. I don't know how I stumbled on it. I think it was because of this recipe, but it's one that I've never heard of. It's a Tarheel pie. Tarheel pie, being in North Carolina, you're a Tar Heel, but I've never heard of it. I did read through the comments, and a lot of people said the same thing. I'm from North Carolina, I've never heard of it, but it's just like a chocolate chess pie. Now, I've never made a chocolate chess pie, so I don't know if it is very similar or just like it or whatever. But it just looks so good. So I think I might make 2 of them. That way I can take one to church. I got to try one, right? First time you make something, you got to try it, and everybody here will be wanting to try it too. So I'll tell you more about that, and I will definitely link to the channel where I found it. Can't remember the name of it exactly right now, but it's something about the Shire. In the Shire. I bet some of you have seen it too, but it's just a cooking channel. But I really like the lady that is the cook, and I watched several of her videos, and she's really nice, and I just like how she does and how she talks. So I'm sure you would enjoy her too. I will be sure to link to that and tell you more about the pie when we get there. Right now I'm going to get my stuff out for my dough. I've got to get my yeast started. I guess that's the first thing I'll do, and then the dough can be rising while I do some of the other things. So my yeast has been proofing, and I've got my oatmeal in here that I was letting cool over there. And if you've never seen me make these rolls before, I have a video, but I also just linked to the recipe. It's one that I've been making. I'm gonna go ahead and put my salt in so I don't forget it. I've been making for many, many years, and truthfully, my family and my extended family would not let me attend Thanksgiving unless I had them, which is funny because I have Thanksgiving here, so I guess they'd have to technically, but they look forward to them every year. And it's an oatmeal dinner roll is the name of them. They're so good, so good, and really pretty easy to make up. I usually make a double batch for my extended family, like at Thanksgiving and Christmas, but today I'm just making the one single recipe. So I'll start putting the flour in, and you can use a mixer to do this part, but I just usually do it by hand, especially with that double amount, because my mixer can't handle that. I had to run down to Corey's to borrow another pie plate since I was going to make two. I only had one somehow. I thought that I had more than that, but I sure couldn't find it. That's the wonderful thing, living by, lots of wonderful things, but living by Corey and Granny. And before that, my brother Steve and his wife Kim, is that if you need to borrow something, that somebody's probably got it. So I called Corey, and she said, sure, you can borrow mine. And Granny has one too. I could have got hers, but I didn't want to bother her in case she was resting. So it's handy though to have somebody to borrow from, and of course they can borrow from me too. I think I can get a little bit more in before I start kneading. I'll knead the rest of it in. Then we'll be ready for it to rise. My water is about to come to a boil for the eggs, and get those started. I think that's about all I'm going to be able to put in. Get some out here. And I'll just try to knead the rest of the flour in. Pour it all out. I think that's about all the flour it's going to take. So what's left over there though, I will use to when I form the rolls up. I think this is pretty much good. So I'm going to get me some oil to put in my bowl here, and we'll set this to rise and move on to the next thing. The next thing pretty soon is going to be wash the dishes. I've already made a mess. I'm going to set this over by the stove where the eggs are about to be boiling, so it can be warm. I'm going to let my eggs boil for about 14 minutes. I've got my dough right here beside the heat, so I know that'll help it rise quickly. And then I think I'm going to go wash up my dishes, and then I'll be ready to go on to the next thing. Got all my eggs peeled. Granny gave me this years ago. She's had it pretty much as long as I can remember. You probably remember seeing them. It's Tupperware, but that's what I usually use to take eggs somewhere because it's, you know, handy. They won't spill out on you. You don't have to wrap them with anything. Very handy. When it comes to doing deviled eggs, there's so many different ways, so many different recipes. I do mine very, very simply. A lot of people put relish or something like that in theirs. I like those when I eat them at places, you know, like at potlucks, like tomorrow, but for some reason I don't ever do it. I guess I'm lazy. I just want to keep doing it the same way I've always done it. I did manage to get the kitchen cleaned up though, so that was good. I had all those dishes. Every so often, of course, we get new people that watch us, which is wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you to all you who have been here, and thank you to all you new people. But when new people come, often I'll start getting these same comments, and then I kind of address it and it goes away and then it'll come back. But is that I really need a dishwasher because I cook so much. And all of you who've watched my videos for a long time already know I'm one of those strange people that I don't like dishwashers. I prefer to hand wash. Probably that's because I didn't grow up with a dishwasher. Granny never had one, still doesn't have one. So that's probably why. And Matt didn't grow up with one either. But I just prefer to hand wash them. So I know it's rather strange, but that's why I don't have a dishwasher. And if you can see on camera where my garbage can is, and you think, well, a dishwasher would fit right there. Sometimes some people say that. There used to be a dishwasher there. When we first moved into our house many, many years ago, Matt's mother was very, very kind, and she bought all of our first appliances, and she had a dishwasher, and she thought I really needed a dishwasher, so she bought me a dishwasher, so that's where it was at. It never one time was ever turned on, and eventually we removed it. All I did ever was use it for storage. I had stuff like Christmas dishes or something like that put in it, but eventually we took it out. And Miss Cindy really thought I needed a dishwasher even then. She thought maybe I didn't like it or something. So which was, of course I would like it. It was new. There wasn't nothing not to like about it. So she bought me another dishwasher to put there. Well, by then I was older and was able to say, Miss Cindy, I just don't want a dishwasher. But she didn't want to return it, so we donated it to the fellowship hall at church, and it's still there, although I don't think I've ever seen anybody use it even there. So I don't know. I guess I come from a long line of people just liking to wash dishes. Now I've got all the yolks in here. I'm just going to mash them up pretty good I'm just going to use a fork. Now that I've got that part done, I don't really measure anything else. I just add some mayonnaise, some mustard, salt and pepper, and some apple cider vinegar, and just till it looks right, I guess. That's probably, and I've got 12 eggs. That's a half a cup. Maybe I'll go a little bit more like a cup, I guess. Yep. Some mustard. Oops. Pepper and salt to taste. I remember years ago I was writing on the Blind Pig and Acorn about deviled eggs, and I don't remember if somebody sent it to me or if I just found it, but it was a website of like a collection of all the various different ways that people made deviled eggs. I'll see if I can find that, and if I can, I'll link to it, because it was really fascinating. You know, like I said, you think about pickles are common, just like what I'm doing is common, but then there was just all these other different variations that was like wonderful. I'm throwing my eggs out as usual, making a mess. Let's see what I think about that. Get a little taste. Tastes pretty good. So now I'm just ready to fill my eggshells.
Can you play this song there?
Katie's got a new fiddle to try out, so that's why she's serenading the eggs.
How you don't want to leave that in there? I wasn't doing a very good job.
Well, I said it was a new fiddle. Nobody expects you to do a new job. Good job, you're just trying out. So the eggs look pretty good. It's great. I've got a few extra ones. I made extra so that we could enjoy some this afternoon too, or this evening for our supper. So I'm going to run these down to the refrigerator in the basement, clean up my mess right here. Of course, I got to finish those eggs, and then I'll be on to the next part of my cooking day. Next is to do my second part of my bread, my rolls. I got to form the rolls. See, the dough looks great. Make sure I get it all in a pan. Put them in. Something very therapeutic about working with dough in your hands, kneading. Sometimes I make them bigger and sometimes smaller. I think I'll go on the smaller side today. And these do, like, you know, I'm doing them ahead of time, so they'd be better. Like at Thanksgiving, I try to do them, and Christmas right when they come out of the oven. People are here. They're just so good, but they're still good warmed up. So if there's any left at Thanksgiving, people take them home with them. Of course, we eat them in the coming days and at Christmas. So they definitely warm up good, so I think they'll be fine for tomorrow. There is something special though about bread that just immediately come out of the oven. I wonder if I could get 4 on here, maybe in a row. Yep. So I'll just continue to do this. This part will be done, other than baking them, which will be really easy. Now, one year I did freeze them ahead of time, so you could do that. I froze them without being cooked. Like at this stage, I froze them like this. And you could do that, you know, of course for a big event, but I haven't done it, but you could do that and just have them in a bag, so you just took out 2 or 3 or 4, whatever you needed for your supper. But I haven't done that. I always want to. You see those videos of people that do like giant cooking days, and you know, they make entrees, but they also maybe they make breads, and they make breakfast things, and maybe stuff they could have for lunch too, and you know, and then they'll put it in the freezer, like the freezer meals things. I always think that would be really nice, but somehow I never do it. When I first realized how nice that is, though, to have things like that, when I had Corey and Katie, of course, being a new mother and having twins, I had a cesarean, I had some other health problems going on, and Miss Cindy come and stayed a few days with me. Of course, Granny was right here. You don't know how many times I called Granny at 6 o'clock in the morning and said, "Can you please come? Can you please come?" And she always come. But when Miss Cindy was here, she cooked the whole time she was here. You know, would cook every meal for us, and I can't remember how much time Matt got to take off. Not much, I know. But she would cook, but before she left, she made the huge pot of chicken and dumplings. I mean, just like gigantic. And then she divided it up in, freezer containers into containers and put it in the freezer. And she said that way, you know, when you get to feeling better, you'll be back on your feet, but there's going to be days that you just don't want to cook, and you can just get those chicken and dumplings out, make some cornbread, or just eat them, you know, with crackers or something. You got the dumplings, you don't really need bread, although I love chicken and dumplings with cornbread. And she said, and you'll have your meal, you know, and it'll be easy. And I said, okay, well I think that'll be nice, thank you. But I didn't realize how nice it would be till later, on those days that just seemed like, you know, I couldn't get the babies to quit crying, or they needed me really bad that day or whatever, and I was tired and exhausted, and I could just get one of those containers out of chicken and dumplings. So it is really, really nice to have that. I just don't do it. Should. Matt's been wanting to, and we didn't do it. He talked about it all summer. Wanting to do some, Papa Tony and Nana used to do it. They would do a whole big bunch of peppers, like, you know, bell peppers, stuffed peppers, and they would just put them, line a box with them, you know, one row, and then put some tinfoil or something in another row and have it pretty deep. And then if you could have it for supper or whatever, but if you just needed a snack, you would just go get one out and, you know, heat it up and eat it. And Matt said he'd really like to do that, but we haven't done it yet. Of course, we've about waited too late for the season of peppers, right? You can buy them though, I suppose. Thought I was here alone and I hear a car door, but it seems like it's Katie. She must have forgot something. What'd you forget?
Dee Dee told me to bring bacon, and I didn't.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get the bacon. It's downstairs in the refrigerator.
Okay.
I'm also gonna get this.
This baby chair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I thought, well, if Woody wakes up and he was awake, it'll be easier to feed him both. So I'm gonna go down there.
Okay. Katie had come and forgot stuff. They were going to eat dinner down at Corey's. So I've got all these done. I'm going to cover them, let them rise again, then we'll be ready to bake them. I'm finally ready to try the pie. I'm excited about making it. It's always fun to try a new recipe. So I went and you can, when you watch the videos on that channel, if you just go down to the description, you can put in your email and they'll send you the recipe. So that's what I did. And it's Kitchen in the Shire. I could remember the Shire, but I kept thinking it was something else. So Kitchen in the Shire, and I will definitely link to it. So normally if I'm going to double a recipe, if it's one I've made lots of times, like if I was making a butterscotch pie today, a pumpkin pie, even Aunt Mary Jo's apple pie or anything like that, I would just double it as I go. I'm not going to do that today because even though I want to make two pies, I've never made this one before, so I want to see how it goes the first time. So the first pie I'll make, I'll keep for us, and then the second pie, when I make it, I'll take it to church tomorrow. I've got my pie shells over there. I've already baked them. It's kind of strange. You bake them, you know, like almost like you were going to make a cream pie, like chocolate, butterscotch, whatever. And then you bake them again with the stuff in it. So that's kind of different. I don't think I've ever made anything like that. Anyway, I've got them over there. And of course, one of mine cracked around the edge at the top. So that's the one I'll keep for us. It still tastes good. It's just not as pretty. So the ingredients though you need is one unbaked 9-inch pie shell, but then the very first thing you do is bake it. So really you need it baked. 1 1/4 cups chopped pecans, and with those pecans what you're going to do is she says to toast them. So you can do that on top of the stove, or you can do it on a sheet tray in the oven. I did it on a sheet tray in the oven for about 5 to 7 minutes, something like that, at about 375. Or you can do it on top of the stove in a skillet. And I'm going to link to her video, and you should go watch it because she's much better cook than I am, and especially this recipe that I've never done before. So she does hers on top of the stove. 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter, melted. 2/3 cup semi-sweet chocolate chips. 1/4 cup neutral oil, and I'm using avocado, but you could use whatever you wanted to. 2 tablespoons Dutch processed cocoa powder. Now I don't have that, I just have Hershey's cocoa powder, so that's what I'm going to use. Just regular chocolate cocoa powder is what I have. 2 large eggs, 3/4 cup dark brown sugar packed, 1 tablespoon vanilla extract, 3/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of instant espresso powder. I was afraid that I would not like that, so I'm not putting a whole teaspoon in. I'm putting more like about a 1/2 teaspoon. 1/4 cup all-purpose flour, and then another 1/3 cup semi-sweet chocolate chips, because you're going to mix that in the batter. The first ones we're going to melt. So, seems like a lot of ingredients in one way, but not when you think about, you know, even butterscotch pie or chocolate pie, you know, when you think about the eggs and all the different stuff. I guess it's about the same except for the semi-sweet chocolate chips. You don't put those in it, of course, or the espresso powder. So, interested in the dark brown sugar. I'm sure that's going to give it a really rich taste. So, and I love brown sugar. I love the taste of brown sugar. So I just know I'm going to love this. Now that I've got all my ingredients for the first pie out, let's go over to the stove and we'll melt it and get started. Melt that chocolate first. So I have only just started talking about it, and I've already managed to mess one of the steps up. So it said melted butter, so I was getting all my stuff ready, so I went ahead and melted the butter. But actually, you're going to put the butter in with the chocolate. So it says melt the butter and chocolate together in a saucepan over medium heat, stirring it until smooth. So there's my chocolate. But I've already melted my butter, so I'm just going to pour it in there. It'll be okay. Actually, it's good I did that because there's a little bitty piece of butter paper. Do you ever do that? Leave the little piece of paper? So it's good that I did it the wrong way. So now we're just going to stir this till it's smoothed out over medium heat. Until it's smooth. Which ain't gonna take long, probably because my butter was hot, and that's probably why it's not taking very long. So I'm already smooth. Gonna add the oil. Make sure I get all that. Stir it in till it's all mixed in well. Okay, then I'm gonna add the cocoa. And we're going to stir that till it's all incorporated and smooth. I think that's that. Now we're going to remove it from the heat and go back to the eggs and the flour and all the rest of the ingredients. The next step says to, in a large bowl, whisk the eggs until no streaks of white remain. So I'll do that real quick. Okay, I think we're good with that. Now we're going to add the brown sugar, vanilla, espresso powder, which I'm not using hardly any of, and the salt. And whisk it until it's smooth. You can really smell that espresso powder, so maybe I'll be glad I didn't use it all, or maybe I'll wish I had. I don't know. Okay, let's go to our next page and see what's next. Slowly pour in the chocolate mixture while whisking constantly until fully combined. And we're going to sprinkle the flour. Okay, let's see. Let me get it all down to the bottom where I can maybe do it. Pour and whisk at the same time. Put that right there. Get the rest of it out. I don't want to lose any of it. Okay, now I'm going to put the flour. It says just put it on, let's see, sprinkle the flour over the surface and whisk just till incorporated. This really reminds me of a brownie that I used to make. Gosh, I haven't made it in years. When Corey and Katie was little, I seen the recipe on a TV show that come on during the day back then, and I made it forever and then just quit making it. Okay, so that's just till incorporated. So it almost seems like maybe it'll be like one of those ooey gooey brownies. Now if you go watch the video of the lady doing it, so nice, she's so nice. She gets really surprised at the end because she expects it to be one thing and it's something, it has a different texture. So we'll have to see what we think about that. Okay, now I need to switch my utensils here because we're going to fold in the rest of those chocolate chips. Maybe they won't melt on me. Okay, now we're ready to put it together. Let me move this. Of course, I'm going to need that, right? Because I got to make the other pie. Let me get the pecans. Pan's still a little warm, so now we're going to add the toasted pecans to the pie shell, spreading evenly. So I tried to keep mine divided. They've kind of got a little bit. Now, if you didn't like pecans, maybe you could use something else. I'd be interested to see if any of you have heard of this pie before. So she calls it a Tarheel pie, and then like I was saying, a lot of people said it was a chocolate chess pie. So, okay, got that. I guess that's about right. Then we're going to pour the pie filling over top of it. I wish my pie shell hadn't broke, but it'll still be good. It just won't be quite as pretty, but for us it doesn't matter. Okay. I'll smooth it out a little bit. Okay. Now, I forgot about this part. I'm going to brush the crust. Let me see if I've got some cream up here. It doesn't really say how much. I'm just going to do just very little, because if I brush my pie shell much, it'll fall apart. Woo! I didn't mean to get that much. I'm going to put some of that back in. A little bit of sugar. That's good. I'm going to brush this on the pie crust. It just seems weird because the, crust is already baked. Be interesting to do it again and do it with the pie shell not baked. Here's mine. It's fell apart over here, so I don't know about that. Be interesting to see if it makes a difference. Okay, I'll save this for the next pie. So now we're going to bake at 325 for about 30 to 35 minutes on the center rack. The pie should wobble slightly when gently shaken. A toothpick or tester should come out with a thin layer of batter attached. Cool for about 90 minutes on a wire rack or until the bottom of the pie plate is just slightly warm. So I'm going to put it in there. I'm going to watch it I'm going to put 25 minutes and then see. And then go up to 30 or 35 if I need to. And then I'll let it cool. While I do that, I may not let it cool 90 minutes though. I can't wait. I can't wait that long. I'll be cleaning up, but also I got to make my other pie. I got to make the next one that I'm going to take to church now that I know how it goes. We'll eat this one. We'll cut it and see how it tastes. So I'll be back and we'll taste the pie once it's ready. So this is the first one. I think it's done. It's not really jiggly. I guess it is a little bit. And I put a toothpick in it, you can see right there, and it come out with a little bit on it. So I'm going to think it's done. I've got the other one in there. I'm going to let this one cool a little bit and then we'll cut it open and see how it looks and see how it tastes. I'm going to go ahead and start my roast and get it put in the crock pot. I'm just going to sear it first. Put some salt, some onion powder, some pepper, and some bone-sucking sauce on it. And some garlic. Forgot about it. Turn it over. I'm going to take them out now and deglaze the pan. I'd rather use beef broth, but what I have is chicken broth, so that's what I'm going to use. Get up all those little good pieces of flavor. Let that cook just for a minute. I think that's good. I've got some onions in my crock pot. I've already got it turned on. Then I'm going to put my vegetables and hope I've got enough room for my meat. I may not. I may have to take out a tater or two. We'll see. I don't know if it's going to fit or not. I may have to take out, which they're not. It's not like I'm losing them. I can still use the taters for something else. I can't use that one because I cut on it. Let me see which ones I cut on. I seasoned the potatoes too. There's some of the little juice that's in the bowl. We'll get that, and then we'll get that I have on the stove. And that will be delicious. I had it on high just to get it warmed up, the crock pot, but I'm going to turn it back down to low now and let it cook the rest of the time on low. The rolls are done. I got the roast done, or not done, but completed. You just have to cook until it's done. Got the eggs in the basement, and I got the pie. The other one turned out better than this. They both look okay, but this one's just got the crack in the top of the crust. So I think that was everything I was going to do, wasn't it? The eggs, the pie, the rolls, and the roast, which has got potatoes and carrots in it. So I'm tired, but I'm glad I got all that done, because there's no way I wanted to get up early in the morning and do it, and I'd be wore out by the time it was over. So let's cut. This pie's still kind of warm, but let's cut it. Let's cut it. Put my rack back up. Let's just see what it looks like. I should have cut that side that had it's firmed up good, had the broke piece, but I didn't. I didn't really, didn't even go in the middle. Oh well. It's kind of gooey, but firm. Let's see if I can, I don't know if this little thing will get it out or not. Well, I broke the top of it off, but woohoo! I better put it on the plate before I show it to you. I'll drop the rest of it. It's still really warm. Probably should have waited a little bit longer, but let's see. Let me get a fork. Oh, my crust broke off there, but can you see the texture of it? It's kind of gooey, but kind of, I guess I better taste it first before I say, kind of like a brownie, but then there's like a pudding quality to it too. It's good, but it's very rich. Very rich. It's interesting, the top got real flaky. You see those flakes? Just kind of flaked on top. I'll show you a close-up picture of it so you can see. Now, it's got a strange texture because it's almost like fudge in one way, but then there's a little bit of liquidy pudding-like. I can definitely see why it would be called, excuse me, be called Tarheel pie though, because it does, it's like a gooiness, like you think of tar, gooiness. I can never think about tar without remembering, of course I have a story even about tar. Well, I have two stories about it, but one is, me and one of my friends from church, I went home with her. Sometimes we would do that. We'd go home with each other after church on Sunday morning, and then, you know, you come back to church on Sunday night, so you know, go home with your parents then. and we were just real little, but we were playing around her house, and her daddy had a bucket of tar. He worked for the state. Maybe he'd had some surplus or something, and he'd used it on their driveway. I don't know what he'd done with it. But we found it, and we opened the top of it, and then, of course, that beautiful black tar, we had to stick our hands in it, right? So we did. And when her mother found us, I can still see the look on her face. She was just like... And they had like a creek that went by their house, and because of doing stuff outside, a lot of times they would wash up down at the creek, so she just like sent us straight to the creek, and they had like a bar of soap down there to try to wash it off, which was almost impossible. Anyway, that's a good memory, but reminds me of that. Dear friend, and love her mother and too, and just a real good memory. The other one is when they paved our road. Corey and Katie was probably about 5 or 6 years old, something like that. Of course, it was big doings. You know, our state road had always been gravel, and so everybody could, you know, we knew they were going to pave it. You could hear all the noise and all that. And Pap had actually been left in charge of Ben and Mark, my nephews, and so we all had wandered down there to the edge of our driveway, really, Paul's driveway, Stephen Kim's driveway, to kind of watch, because that's not state, you know, that part's not, but just to watch what they were doing. And Ben was on his bicycle, my oldest nephew, and Pap told him, like, don't you go over there, you can't ride past where we're at, because those men are working and they won't see you, and you could get hurt. Don't you do that. And she told him. Well, Ben didn't listen. And he just, before we knew it, took off on his bicycle right out through there. Well, what happened is, thank goodness, nothing bad happened. The men did see him and they stopped and all that. But he went right through that, like, hot, it wasn't exactly pavement, like blacktop, more like chat, where they put down the chat, so tar. Well, when he did that, what did this bicycle do? It slung it up in the back of his head and his hair. So Pap and his mother had to pick and try to get it out, and he was okay, though. It didn't hurt him or anything like that. Scared him, I'm sure, but hopefully made him realize, I gotta listen to Pap. Next time he tells me something, I gotta listen. But then, of course, we just left down there. You know, he was okay. They went on out to his house to try to get the tar out of his hair. And Corey, though, she started acting like she was real sick. Like, we went down to the creek and I let them play a minute, and then she just all of a sudden got sick and told me that she was real cold. She was so cold, Mama, I had to go home. It's cold. Well, it was in the summer, and I thought, you must be really getting sick. So we come home, and she wanted me to put on a pair of gloves. She was so cold. She wanted me to put gloves on her. So I went through the closet, found some gloves, put gloves on her. And then she threw up. So I thought, she's getting sick, you know, it's some kind of sickness. And after she threw up, she kind of, we had this mattress that we would leave in the floor for them to lay on or play on. And she got on that mattress and just conked out. I mean, just dead to the world, and probably slept for an hour or two. And I thought, you know, she's really sick. And if she's sick, this one will soon be sick, Katie, you know. Anyway, she woke up in about an hour or two, and she was fine. And I don't know if she told me that day or if she told me later, but she says she can still remember this. What happened is, during all that with Ben, what happened is she got a tiny piece of that tar on her finger somehow. And it scared her, and it scared her so bad that she thought she would be in trouble. Plus, she thought something was going to happen to her finger, so that's why she wanted the gloves, because she wanted to hide her finger. You know, she wanted to hide her finger. But she got so scared that it made her sick. It made her throw up. I was like, bless your little heart. All you got to do is come tell Mama when you're scared like that, and I'll explain it to you. Because I was like, you wasn't in trouble. That was Ben, and he wasn't even in trouble. He got what he got his own punishment by running through the tar. Anyway, had to tell you those stories. This is really rich and really chocolatey. So if you love chocolate, if you're just crazy about chocolate and you've got a really, really sweet tooth, then you're going to love this. It's good. It's like I would say between a fudge and a brownie with some pudding thrown in. Does that make sense? All of it real chocolatey and really rich, though. Really rich. And you got the crunch of the pecans, so that's nice too. I hope that you've enjoyed coming along with me today as I got all this stuff ready for our pastor appreciation dinner tomorrow. if you go see Kitchen in the Shire, again, I'm gonna link to it in the morning. I'm gonna link to it in the morning. I'm gonna link to it in the description. I will link to it probably in the morning when I'm editing this, or the next morning. But be sure to tell Renee that Celebrating Appalachia sent you. Be sure to tell her. I've watched several of her videos and I've enjoyed all of them, so I know you will too. I'm always glad when you stop by to help me celebrate Appalachia.